And welcome to episode 10 of the Dolphin Pod. This is our season 3 finale. And for today's show, we have a very special episode of the Dolphin Pod. We are recording this episode live from the students versus faculty staff basketball game. If you couldn't tell, I'm ready to take the court myself. My name is Joe Foreman, joined by Andrew Rotundo and Nick Bavona of CSI Sportsnet. We are all team staff tonight in our gray shirts.
Yeah, Joe, I'm excited. Usually we're watching basketball, we're watching the Dolphins play, and, both the men and the women's team have come out strong to start this year.
Well, Joe and Andrew, I'm looking to continue our streak in these student and staff games. We have not lost in a while, and we're looking to keep that going tonight.
I have never lost in a faculty staff versus students event. However, those of you who attended the faculty staff versus students football or softball game may have noticed I'm without my championship belt. The reason for that is that we very well could lose tonight. We barely squeaked this game out last year, thanks in large part to men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs' buzzer beater to win the game last year in the faculty staff versus students game. We're going to get a chance to talk to some of the players, maybe some students, definitely some staff. I'm sure we'll have Sal Caruso on later in the show. But speaking of last year's game-winning shot and TJ Tibbs, his team picked up a big win last night as they moved to 3-0 in conference play with their 20-point victory over Mercy University.
Yeah, they've been impressive all year, Joe, as far as, the home games that I've seen. They're just making all their shots. They're utilizing all their players off the bench and their starters. They're just so deep of a team. And, even on their bench, they got players coming in that are scary shooters that can really go on heaters. So, this is a scary team we're looking at for the Dolphins. And, I'm excited to see the rest of the season for them.
And to build off of that, they've had a really strong start when it comes to their bench depth, as you mentioned, Andrew. Really a big player that they've had this season that has come into a role. How about the freshman Aaron Goldstein? He's made some really big strides for this team when it comes to playmaking ability and scoring-wise. He's really provided a spark for CSI that they've needed all year, and they're on a little bit of a win streak right now after that win last night.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention what women's basketball did ahead of last night's game. Their 4-game win streak did come to an end against Mercy University last night. Now, we should remind our viewers, if you're tuning into our premiere, this episode was recorded on Thursday night. It is going to premiere on Saturday morning. So when we say last night, we're speaking to you from Thursday. But as I was saying, Nick and Andrew, our women's basketball team saw their 4-game win streak come to an end last night against Mercy University. A slow start doomed the Dolphins in that game. They fell behind by double digits early and were trying to climb out of that hole for the remainder of the game. They got to within 4 in the fourth quarter, but that was not enough. However, on a more positive note, 4 straight wins before last night. They got some big-time performances along the way.
Yeah, Joe, and I see a lot of similarities from the women's team to the men's team too. They're very deep as well. They utilize their whole team too, and they play a very team-like game. They utilize everybody. They get everybody involved, and it's been successful for the women. And like you said, they were behind double digits in their last game. They came up just short. They are a very persistent team, and that's what I like to see.
And I got to talk to Dana Phelan a couple weeks ago when I called the women's game. And she's really had some confidence, and that's been big for CSI this season. She leads the team in points per game. She's really been shooting a lot more than she did last season, and that's really been the big story for CSI so far. The confidence in their shooting ability, taking their open shots, getting second-chance opportunities and offensive rebounds. That's been big for them going into that win streak up until last night. Now we'll see what happens on Saturday in their games against St. Thomas Aquinas. Dolphins have to get back on track.
Well, you mentioned Dana Phelan. She opened the season scoring double-digit points. I believe it was in 3 consecutive games to start the year. The Dolphins have also gotten the consistency, playmaking, rebounding, and scoring they've come to expect from Jenelise Alarcon all season long. Last night against the Mavericks, a consistent visitor to the charity stripe. She was at the line throughout the entirety of that second half, helping the Dolphins get back in that game, and that's also leaving out the work she has done on the glass and as a facilitator this year. That is not to be overlooked. But most recently, in terms of big-time performances, Ashley Lambert, 3 straight games, 16, 18, and 22 points for Lambert. She was fantastic during that Dolphins winning streak, specifically those last 3 games. And it's great to see her start to find her shooting stroke after a slow start to the season.
Yeah, and, she's firing on all cylinders recently, Ashley Lambert, and, really finding her stride this year, and it's really helped her team. Big part of the success for the Dolphins, and like you said, shooting a lot more and a lot more successful, and just another reason why these Dolphins are just so persistent.
And the Dolphins' last home game, she was the big reason why they were able to win in the fashion that they did. She pretty much scored all of the Dolphins' points in that second half, really caught fire from the three-point line. And you talked about it, Joe. She's really looked strong these last couple of games, and that's something for CSI they're going to look to need down the stretch of the season if they want to get back to the playoffs like they did last season.
Well, the Dolphins only have one more conference game before the new year. That's really hard to believe. It seems like we've been covering a lot of conference basketball, but only one conference home game so far, one more to come before the calendar shifts over to 2024. That game, if you're watching our premiere, is coming up next. From the time we're recording, the game takes place in a couple of days on Saturday, but the Dolphins welcome St. Thomas Aquinas College into the tank. And that's going to be a tough test for both the men's and the women's team. Let's shift our focus back to the men. We've spoken about what we've liked from that team so much already during our brief conversation here on the Dolphin Pod, but we got to look at that stacked basketball team. Earlier in the season, they were a part of the Tournament of Heroes. What impressed you so much about them?
They're just an electric team all around. They shoot and they make all their shots, too. They don't really make any mistakes. As far as offense goes and defense too on both sides of the ball. They're just a very good team all around.
Yeah, and I think that's another a thing that CSI is going to have to contend with on Saturday. That stack team is really good overall depth-wise, and it leads to them overall having a really strong start. They had really good performances in the Tournament of Heroes. CSI will have to contend with that on Saturday, but you've had to have liked what you've seen from CSI's men's team the last couple of weeks in terms of their offensive ability. Their defense has looked pretty strong as well. We saw in their last game, Joe, they really went into a press defense, and that really was the reason why in the second half that they were really good defensively.
And that's something else we can't overlook when it comes to this Dolphins team. We talk a lot about their outside shooting, and they have a lot of prolific shooters from the outside. One of them, of course, Bryce Waterman, was certainly in contention for an East Coast Conference weekly accolade. Last week, he was ultimately named to the ECC honor roll last week, but Waterman, always a threat from outside. You give him any space, he can make you pay. But back to what I was saying, the Dolphins' defense is something that perhaps we don't talk about enough on Sportsnet. Their defense at times this year has been suffocating, and they're going to need that again against Stack this weekend if they're going to make good on those preseason expectations to finish near the top of the ECC.
Yeah, and the tank has been electric too this season, and they're gonna need to ride off that energy coming into that game. The tank gets loud for them, and I feel like they get on top of that, and that defense really shows. They really start to press, and they're, like you said, against an offensive juggernaut like St. Thomas Aquinas. They're really gonna have to show that on Saturday.
And building off what you said, Andrew, I think once you get that atmosphere from your hometown crowd and you get into that rhythm of the game, it really helps spark your team. Whether you're down 10 or you're up 10, it really keeps the momentum going throughout the game. So should be an interesting doubleheader we have on Saturday as of this recording. Let's see how the Dolphins fare in that one. They look to push their win streak now to 5 straight.
Well, a big part of that CSI defensive effort has been Messiah Mallory. He returned from an injury and re-entered the lineup in a big way. Didn't have to play many minutes against Queens, but against Mercy, he also didn't have to play that many minutes. He only played 24 minutes in the CSI win, but they didn't need him for much longer than that. The Dolphins won that game by 20 points. They're, of course, happy to have Messiah back in the lineup. And one more name I wanted to mention, in addition to the names we've already talked about from this men's basketball team, late in games, Jordan McAllister has been so big for the Dolphins, knocking down clutch shots in the closing minutes of the second half. The Dolphins have turned to him quite often. They've looked to him for many big baskets, but everyone out there on the floor for the Dolphins is someone that TJ Tibbs has the utmost confidence in. And late in games, they've really performed.
Yeah, and McAllister especially, he's very smart, and he's just a very intimidating force down inside the paint, underneath the basket. He's just a driving force. He really rarely fails down low, and really good at drawing fouls as well, which helps to add to the point total as well when you can get to the stripe and make those shots.
And that game where Messiah Mallory got injured, McAllister pretty much took over that game for the Dolphins offense, getting most of his points in that second half after Mallory went down. You're right. He's been a big spark for this team in overall offensive consistency. And on his defensive side, he's also done a pretty good job of maintaining and controlling the defenders in front of him. So McAllister has made some good strides this season. He looks to continue that upcoming on Saturday.
Now, we've spoken about the men's basketball game and the women's basketball game. Let's talk about our game here tonight. This is the one time that Andrew, Nick, and myself take the court all year. You will not find me on a basketball court playing in a competitive game outside of this day. Faculty and staff versus students coming up for us in just about 6.5 minutes. My expectations for the game tonight, nothing short of a win. We'll get a chance to talk to some of the players during the game, which is coming up shortly. But Andrew, Nick, any expectations of your own to share?
I expect to make at least 3 shots in this
Wow.
game.
Okay.
That is bold, considering that all of us combined made
this is my debut.
0. It is Andrew's debut.
It is.
Nick, myself, Pat, Lewis, and our other friend and colleague, Nick Durst, who appeared on the New York Post's Twitter feed this morning as part of an SNY segment on the New York Mets, so congratulations to him. He's celebrating his anniversary tonight. Can't be here. I told him that can wait one more day, especially since tomorrow is Friday. But he said it could not wait. He will not be here tonight. But we have a nice replacement. Antonino Cruciata, a good friend of Nick's and a Sportsnet engineer, is on the squad tonight. He does have experience in some of these games before us. He is a teacher. He has played against, albeit much younger students in middle school, but he does have some experience. Now, Nick, same question to you. Expectations for tonight for yourself?
I expect to play 5 minutes and then go on the bench and ponder the things in life when it comes down to why did I play this game. But I'm going to have fun nonetheless.
Well, I expect to wrap up here, eat a nice big meal at the after party, which is coming up following the conclusion of the game, and then we'll go home and we'll live vicariously through our avatars on NBA 2K, where we knock down every shot, where we're in every passing lane on time, where we heave the ball up and down the floor, score a lot of points, and we can feel good about ourselves.
Our famous saying, splashketball.
Splashketball. Hopefully we'll play some splashketball tonight.
Hopefully.
Now that that's out there in the public domain, that's a song that we sing when we hit baskets. We're playing splashketball, and that's where we'll leave it heading into tonight's game. So Nick, Andrew, and myself have about 4.5 minutes to go get warmed up. I have not touched a basketball yet tonight. We'll go get some shots up, and when we come back here on the Dolphin Pod, it will likely be early in this game, and we'll be on headset as the game takes place in front of us, so be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, first stint in the game. Didn't go exactly how we wanted. Staff is down 14-3. But we have Nino, Andrew, Khalil, TJ, and Tyler in the game. They're going to turn things around for us. I did score. That's one more point than we had last year. Not bad. 0 of 1 from the field, but it was a good open look I attempted. So not too bad, but shift it back over to the court and get a look at our new squad with 13:07 to go in the first half. All right, Sal, welcome.
Hey.
We're a little gassed.
Oh, yeah.
I'm short of breath.
From 2 shots taken.
Lungs are on fire, but we made it through about 7 minutes. We did score only 3 points, but takeaways?
Hey, you know, we're early in the game. We got now TJ Tibbs, the head coach, in there, along with some other players. They haven't played yet, so we'll see what we got.
Pat? Tyler? No.
Good shot there.
No. All right. Couple of good looks.
We got to play some defense and hope that they sub in some other players soon.
We got to hope that TJ Tibbs is on his game today. Otherwise, we're going down.
Yes, definitely. This kid here, Angelo.
That doesn't help.
He can shoot. Definitely can shoot.
Back in the day, I used to be able to shoot Sal, but you know, age has not treated my basketball ability well. It helped the voice.
Oh yeah,
it landed me here, but other than that,
distinctive Dolphin voice here, along with other voices.
I'm not doing too much else in terms of athleticism. I can lift a lot of weight, but that doesn't help me here.
TJ's got the ball now. Last year, in case you don't know, he won the game for us in this very game.
At some point, we'll rerun that clip of TJ winning the game.
Oh, yeah, that would be really nice. That was
a good one.
Great shot.
All right, Tyler's got to work on his vision a bit.
You can tell Tyler's got shot. Oh, my Lord. Got Lancelot here, a student, freshman, who can dunk the ball. He's definitely got ups. He also plays volleyball. Spikes the ball very well. Oh, that's a travel.
All right, Andrew, you can't do that. I was able to dunk as a high school freshman on 9'10", but that was, let's not say how many years ago that was. More than half a lifetime. We're in trouble.
And everybody's making shots to the students, so they can only get colder, you would hope. All right?
We can't get any worse, so
yeah,
that's
exactly.
the positive on our side.
Still got 10 more minutes, okay.
Well, if TJ's getting blocked, we're in trouble.
Yes, this is not good. Listen, you can try to make a comeback.
All right, Marquise wants in. I think I'm going to go stand next to him.
Yeah.
Try and work my way back in probably another 3 minutes.
Get some water eventually.
I could use some water, too. Is there water in the cooler over there?
There is water up there, yeah.
We're going to go get some. We'll be right back. All right, Nick, welcome over from the bench. Things have not gotten any better in the second half.
Nope.
We are trailing by 30. So better second half than first half. We've only seen the deficit increase by, I think, 6 or 7.
Not a mathematician, Joe, but I think so.
I'm something of a mathematician myself, and whatever the scoreboard says, it's not good for us. Now, did TJ opt out of the rest of the game? Is he gone?
I think there's a clock issue. He's sitting right there.
Oh,
right,
he is.
Straight across from us.
For a second, I thought he realized we were a lost cause and decided to go.
He did say when he came to the bench, he said, I wish I got here earlier. And I think we all can agree with that sentiment that we wish he also got here earlier.
I agree. It's a rough start for us. You and I each got a few minutes in the first half. I got a few here in the second half. Next wave of substitutions, you're welcome to throw off the headset and head back in.
Yeah, I might stop it for a couple of possessions in my tenure.
All right.
I did say my prediction was getting 5 minutes, get a little bit exhausted, and then ponder the things in life, and I think I've exceeded those expectations.
Well, Andrew put his over-under at 2.5 baskets. That did not happen. Did he even take 3 shots?
I don't think – he took one.
He definitely took one.
one.
I took 2, but I was fouled on one of them. So in the stat sheet, I'll have 1 shot.
I'm just standing around under the rim trying to get rebounds. And I almost injured myself trying to get one of them.
We're having a tough time rebounding here. Finally, we get it.
Got numbers.
I was in the game last about 7 or 8 minutes ago. I'm still out of breath.
Yep.
We're getting better. We're getting better. Andrew can't speak without coughing, so I think his night's done. I think TJ's night's done as well. He's kneeling down. We have a headset for him. Post-game analysis from TJ Tibbs coming up. If the analysis is, I wish I got here earlier, then save it. We already analyzed that much.
See Nino now.
We got Nino and Pat from Sports Info in the game. Don't look now. We're within 24.
Excuse my coughing, but yeah. It's,
that was a chuckle, not a cough. The defensive intensity picking up here. Let's see what TJ's got. An easy 2 is what he's got. 22.
Pat getting the assist on that one. He's got the silver dimer.
I don't think I had any assists either. Hard to get an assist when we don't make the basket. Thoughts of a comeback for a moment there. We're still alive. You needed that one, Nick.
Nino got the rebound.
Oh, Nino got rejected. That's what Nino got. We got the ball back.
And one.
That won't do it.
And you can see TJ is he's gassed right now, but with Wright doing so, he's a big reason why we have this amount of points.
Harold has gold hustle points. Is that still a badge?
Is that still a badge?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Rebound chaser?
That's not for it.
Tyler's back in. My phone is pinging and pinging and pinging some more. 22-point game? No. Under 6 minutes left. Well, Nick, you might want to head over to the scores table if you want any hopes of getting back in. Now, maybe I'll stand there with you.
If you go, I'll go.
Marquise realized the lost cause when he saw one. He's gone. Let's head over to the scores table. Maybe we get in one more time.
All right.
Sal, unfortunately, I have to let you know that we did lose by 25.
Yes, I see that. You know what? I'm just proud that it was not a 30-point deficit. We did not lose by 30 or more, so that's good. I'll take the 20, 25-point. You know, we held our own, I think, in the second half. But actually, I was not in my dietary restrictions there. I was talking to Luke, who's one of the student government presidents, having a conversation with him. Luke! They're going to try to do some good things with the students in general in terms of like having a club night maybe, inviting all the clubs here in student life that are here in the basketball game. So little things like that at work we were talking about. And he enjoyed the atmosphere here. He really loved it. So, we're hoping for more of members of student government and student life come out.
That's great to hear. It was a fun night here at the Tank. We're in the auxiliary gymnasium tonight, but we will be on the turf field a bit later in the spring for football. Do we have any other faculty staff events between now and then?
Softball. Well, not
course.
between, but flag football and softball in the spring.
Will be ours.
Yep.
Vengeance will be ours on the football field. That's definitely a game we can win.
I think we're undefeated in softball, maybe one
We
loss.
are.
I'm not sure.
Well, I was undefeated in all faculty staff events until tonight. Basketball, not my game, but I scored. That's one more point than last year. I hit a free throw, and for me, that's enough.
Unfortunately, played about 10 minutes and took, I think, 3 shots, and one of them was a layup that I missed that I messed up TJ's assist. So I apologize, TJ, on that, but
He promised us post-game analysis. Where is he? You know what, Sal? Go grab TJ. We'll get him a headset, put him on.
Let's see where he is.
Wrap up with TJ. He's over on the bench. So we'll get him over here in just a minute. Nick came up short this year, but it was a good time.
Well, I was having a good time until I airballed the shot near the end of the game.
That's
but,
all right. Maybe nobody saw it if they weren't paying attention.
I saw it.
It depends whether or not that shot makes the final cut. We'll see.
I hope not.
I'm sure you're not the only one who's hoping their footage doesn't make the final cut. I don't want my footage in the final
That might be
cut.
the last time you see me on camera, if that's the case.
Here's our unofficial MVP in a losing effort. Post-game analysis, coach.
Man, we got punched.
Just a bit. It was a tough night for us. Just a bit.
We got punched. But look, the effort was there. It wasn't for lack of effort. We weren't as deep as we've been in the years past. But, I mean, a good time was had.
We were in a deep deficit.
When I walked in, I looked at the score. I thought it was a malfunction. I actually thought we were up when we walked in, but then they scored. And the points kept going up. But, no, listen, these students, they love this, man. How much fun is this, though, just to get out here and to run, hang out with the guys? I think it's a great time.
It's definitely fun for the students. I'm not sure if I could speak for my crew. Nick, any thoughts on that? I said we had fun, but I was hyping the event a bit.
Listen, I had fun. That's all that matters at the end of the day. But
all right, so your enjoyment's all that matters. I see how it is.
For me, I enjoyed it. Other than.
And we are live from the Tank for the start of today's NCAA Division II men's basketball matchup. In East Coast Conference play, the College of Staten Island takes on St. Thomas Aquinas College. And Nick, there wasn't enough time in the pregame for our Dolphin pod.
I know.
Our viewers missed the final minute or so. We tried to squeeze it in ahead of tip-off. Didn't make it, as Bryce Waterman is too strong on that. 3 rebounded by Messiah Mallory off back iron. And Jordan McAllister is short on the mid-range, but the Dolphins have another offensive board. Once again, this is Joe Foreman on the call, alongside Nick Bavona for our men's game today. The CSI women dropped the front half of today's ECC doubleheader against the Spartans. And here in the men's game, J.J. Chestnut has the Dolphins on the board.
Well, Joe, this is a good start for CSI. 2 missed shots to start off. They got 2 offensive rebounds, and Chestnut was able to get that floater to get the first points of this game. And that's something CSI is going to have to look into this game, trying to out-rebound the Spartans team.
And with the hook shot, that was Lawrence Foreman. And yes, Nick, Foreman is spelled the same way.
I wasn't going to say it. I was not going to bring it up.
Nick Durst brought it to my attention all weekend during opening weekend here at the Tank. Stack, of course, was part of our Tournament of Heroes this year. Dolphins unselfishly worked the ball around the outside. Nobody wanted the three-pointer.
Good ball movement right here.
10 to shoot. Mallory for 3. Off back iron, and another offensive board goes to Chestnut. Long 3 from Waterman, and he knocks it down.
Once again, CSI getting those second chance points, and Waterman with a deep three off the rebound from Chestnut. 5-2 CSI.
Well, that's one Dolphin who won't pass up a good look from three. Mid-range shot rattled in by Foreman. He's quickly 2 for 2.
And Joe, going into this game, one of the guys that CSI had to look out for was James Patterson, who's had a great start to the season for this Spartans team, averaging 25 points per game.
That shot won't go. Big rebound by Foreman. Kick out by Smith. And the pull-up by Pulliam is good, and Kyle Pulliam is on the board. He gives Stack the lead.
And Joe, we saw Stack in that Tournament of Heroes. 2 impressive victories for the Spartans. Their only loss of the season coming against Port, and that was an overtime loss in which they lost by only 2 points.
That's a 10-second violation, yeah. And how about that weekend that Pulliam had during the Tournament of Heroes? He could not miss from beyond the arc.
Pulliam and Patterson have been 2 of the biggest bright spots for this Spartans team this season. A big reason why they are 9-1 on the season.
Both the Dolphins and the Spartans unbeaten in conference play, combined 5-0. Dolphins with 3 wins against the ECC. The Spartans with 2. Stack always a presence in the regional rankings. That has not changed. They continue to be one of the most formidable programs in the region. And for the Dolphins, a good litmus test early in the season against a very talented team, as Foreman grabs 2 offensive boards and converts through the contact.
Strong start for Lawrence Foreman, as you mentioned, the 2 offensive rebounds right there. Gets the putback for the and one, and he's already off to a great start. 6 points early on here in the first half.
Foreman to the line for 1 shot. And he puts the Spartans in front by 4. Now, Nick, if what we saw from these 2 teams early in the season is any indication, we could be in for a high-scoring game. There's 2 more for Chestnut.
And a big reason why, Joe, is you look at the Stack team on the season, they're averaging near 92 points per game. That is an incredible mark for the Spartans, and the Dolphins are averaging just under 80 points. So you're absolutely right. We could be in for a shootout here at the Tank.
Goldstein comes away with the ball off the Spartans' turnover. Mallory wants it. Instead, Goldstein drives, steps back, and can't get it to go off glass.
Almost a nice move right there for Goldstein to get the finish, and he gets a nice turnover forced right here.
And Goldstein is rejected. That was Smith who gave him a stare down after Goldstein hit the floor.
An incredible rejection right there from Smith. As right off the turnover, Goldstein was looking for a fast break layup. Good defensive play from Smith.
And how about the pace to this game to start? Ball tipped away, and it will stay with the Dolphins. .21 on the shot clock for CSI. Waterman will inbound up to McAllister. He hands off to Goldstein. Now Chestnut inside to Mallory. Mallory, lefty scoop layup is good as Messiah gets the roll.
That was a tough bucket right there for Mallory, but absolutely gets the roll right there to tie the game at 9.
Pulliam left open in transition off the inbound, and that was halfway down and out. But it will stay Spartans basketball.
And I think for CSI, that's something they got to try to avoid in this game. Cannot let the Spartans shoot wide open from the three-point line as we have a media timeout.
And with that, we'll have our first break of this game. First half, 4 minutes gone by. We're tied at 9. Chi Aesthetics Med Spa and Wellness Center. Our approach to beauty and wellness begins with a holistic plan tailored to the unique needs of our patients. When we consult with patients, we let them tell us what their problem is. We don't tell them what the issue is. We find out what they're looking for, and we discuss, and then we give them options. If you're looking to achieve radiant skin, you've come to the right place. We offer hydrofacials, microneedling, Opus Plasma, peels, facial and laser treatments, laser hair removal, body sculpting, fat freezing, hormone replacement therapy, Botox, IV drip therapy, and more. We are open Monday through Saturday and are located at 720 Forest Avenue, Staten Island, New York, 10310. We hope to see you soon. Visit our website at www.chiaesthetics.com for more information. And we are back from the College of Staten Island, where both of these teams have this game off to a very frantic pace out of the gate. We're tied at 9. Nick, what have you seen so far that stood out?
I think we've seen so far a strong start for Lawrence Foreman. Has 7 of the 9 points for this Spartans team. And for the Dolphins, a lot of offensive rebound and second chances so far for them have led to most of their points.
Foreman 3 of 5 from the field, 7 points, 4 rebounds. J.J. Chestnut with a couple of early baskets for the Dolphins, 2 rebounds and an assist. Three-pointer on its way, no good. That was Javion Patterson. Now Chris Clancy, who just entered the game for the Dolphins, can't convert on the layup. Adelaide Oyekanmi into the game for CSI as well, along with Luis Risquez for the Spartans. And that floater is good by Jamal Barnes. Stack back in front by 2.
And Barnes was another player, Joe, that was really good offensively as they force a turnover right here.
Well, that stack press gives teams problems as Barnes couldn't connect on the open 3. Here comes Chestnut back the other way. Mallory to Chestnut, and he can't get it to go off glass.
Good defensive play right there from Barnes.
That was a great feed by Mallory as Barnes is off from 3 yet again. Waterman thought about it. Finds Clancy in the corner. He'll try the 3. No good. Rebound tipped up in the air and pulled in by James Patterson. Spartans work it around the outside. This is Zion Ruckert. Ruckert up top to Barnes. Risquez has Patterson on the cut. Got it right back, didn't shoot it, and is swatted by Mallory. It's poked away loose, and it will be Dolphins basketball. Great defensive effort from Messiah Mallory.
And a good job absolutely, considering that Risquez is 6'9", Joe, so absolutely the tallest player on the court for both sides. And almost got a nice bucket right there off that block from Mallory, but good defensive stand for CSI.
Dolphins working through that Spartans press. This is Waterman now on the wing. Finds Mallory. Mallory still with his back to the basket. Gives it up to Oyekanmi. Now Waterman. 10 on the shot clock. Waterman fakes. Kicks out. Chestnut now drives. And he lays it in with the left hand.
Good presence from Chestnut right there. Had an open look at the three-point line, but saw the open lane to the basket. And a nice easy 2 for him.
Dolphins and Spartans tied at 11. Just over 6.5 gone by in this first half. Risquez almost lost the ball and had it stripped away by Mallory again. And Oyekanmi just beat Patterson to the ball as he draws the foul. And the Dolphins will inbound.
And maybe that could be another strategy in this game, Joe. If you were able to get Patterson into foul trouble late in this one, that could be huge for CSI considering the amount of points that he scored on the season.
That foul, the first on Stack in this game. The Dolphins with just 1 foul as well. That was assessed to Bryce Waterman. Goldstein up to Waterman. Gets it right back. 20 on the shot clock. Goldstein for Clancy. Clancy crosses over and kicks out to Oyekanmi. Now Waterman. Hands off, Goldstein for 3. No good. And Oyekanmi got a piece of it, but that ball had already contacted the shot clock. Five on the floor for the Dolphins. Clancy, Laddie, Waterman, Goldstein, Oyekanmi. Jordan Green into the game for Stack. along with Mill Irons, Smith, Javion Patterson, and Vasius Tolias. Three-pointer from Mill Irons. Rolls off the rim, no good. And the putback by Tolias goes down. Count it, and one.
And that's what this stack team does so well, Joe, getting these offensive rebounds as well. We've seen the Dolphins so far in this first half get their second chance opportunities, but this stack team also knows how to get their second opportunities as well.
Free throw by Tolias is good. Spartans now in front by 3. Feed inside to Mallory, and that was pinned against the glass by Green.
Emphatic rejection from Green, but a good defensive stand right there from CSI.
Patterson couldn't convert the layup as Laddie slipped on the floor, lost the ball. Now the Spartans have it, and they quickly turn it over.
And, Joe, you've got to like what you saw on those 2 possessions from CSI. First, the block, fast break chance for the Spartans. The Dolphins were able to get back and force a contested shot. Then you see a turnover forced by the Spartans, and the Dolphins once again were able to get back to the basket to force that turnover right there for Stack.
Mallory in the corner. Sends it out to Waterman. Deep three-pointer. Splash.
Nothing but net on that one for Waterman. A little bit choked up there, Joe.
That's quite all right. Waterman ties the score at 14. Fake by Green. He kicks it up top. Patterson thought about the 3, now will take it. He's short. And Goldstein has the rebound. Goldstein for Laddie. He's left open. And that's an air ball. And with that, we will head to another media timeout. 11-12 to go in this first half. Dolphins and Spartans tied at 14.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
11-12 on the clock in this first half, and the Dolphins and Spartans are all knotted up at 14. And Nick, these two teams had this game moving at quite the pace off the rip. These last couple of minutes, it's been much more of a defensive game.
Yeah, we saw a very fast-paced start, as you mentioned, and then we talked about the CSI Dolphins' last possession defensively, where they had a block shot, they would get back on defense and force a contested shot. Then they turned it over on that same side of the court, were able to get back and get another defensive stand. Been a good around start all around for CSI. Game tied at 14, so 11 minutes to go in the first half.
And speaking of defense, the two teams just a combined 2 of 12 from downtown. Both of those threes belong to the Dolphins. Both sides shooting under 40% in this game, albeit very early, on top of the poor three-point shooting. And that's a moving screen on Tolias.
And the Spartans got away with a moving screen earlier in the play as Oyakami was looking for a foul called on a screen. No call was there, and then they were able to call it just a couple seconds later on Tolias, so that's his first of the game.
Blake Wilson making his first appearance of the game for the Dolphins. Both teams cycling players in and out of the game. Wilson thought about the 3 and throws it right to Talias on the entry pass.
And that one, Mallory had an advantage inside, but just a forced pass right there from Wilson.
Kick out by Pulliam. This is Patterson. Talias left open, fakes, and pulls up from the mid-range as he knocks it down.
Good job by Talias right there to make that bucket. And here goes a fast break, Joe.
And Mallory throws it down with two hands, but that was waved off for an offensive foul.
And that's one the Dolphins would love to have back, as Oyakami was called for the foul. That's a heartbreaker right there for CSI.
Foul charge to Adelaide Oyakanmi. Corner three on its way, and Patterson knocks it down.
You had to figure sooner or later Patterson would get involved in the scoring for the Spartans.
Wilson got away with a travel there. We're just beyond the midway point in this first half. Dolphins now trail by 5. And that was poked away from Mallory. Here comes Pulliam to the basket, and he throws it down with two hands. Timeout, Staten Island.
And this is something CSI had trouble with last year, Joe. Remember the game from last year. A lot of turnovers for the Dolphins led to a big win for Stack. CSI's got to control that in the rest of this game if they want to have a chance to win.
It was a tough outing for the Dolphins last time they faced this Spartans team. They hope to avoid that here today as CSI trails 21-14, under 10 minutes to play in the first half.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife.
And we're back from the tank after a very quick 30-second timeout called by the Dolphins bench. CSI looking to regroup. They've fallen behind by 7. Goldstein left open. Splash.
That's something you want to see for the Dolphins right after the timeout. After that turnover, a nice quick three-pointer from Goldstein to put them within 4.
Pulliam can't connect with Mallory right in his face. And Goldstein has the rebound. Chestnut back up top to Goldstein, now Waterman. Waterman looks to attack, is doubled along the baseline. He finds Goldstein for 3. That was halfway down.
Rolled out of the rim, almost another big 3 for Goldstein.
In the corner, Milirons with no hesitation knocks it down.
And we saw in the Tournament of Heroes, Joe, Milirons was absolutely not hesitant to shoot his 3-pointers and showed it right there once again.
So many great shooters on this stacked roster, but they're not just an outside shooting team. They can score it from all 3 levels, underneath the basket, in the mid-range, and from beyond the arc. Dolphins have their hands full defensively, but the Spartans also have their hands full with Bryce Waterman.
Another 3-pointer right there from Waterman. A strong start for him. And CSI needs that in this game, Joe. They need consistent 3-point shooting, keep themselves within it, and a good travel force right there from the Dolphins defense.
That's good pressure by Goldstein. Patterson had his back to Goldstein, and when he turned around, Aaron was standing right in front of me. He had no choice but to travel. With that last basket, Waterman now 3 of 5 from the field, 3 of 4 from downtown. He has 9 points.
This is what CSI needed. Waterman's coming off a nice performance in the win over Mercy on Wednesday. Looking to keep it going here today and give CSI their 4th straight win.
Right now, one of the officials conversing with the Spartans bench. They are satisfied, and the Dolphins inbound quickly. McAllister right to the rim, and he can't get the layup to go.
Tough layup attempt right there from McAllister. Good strong defense right there from the Spartans.
Patterson uses the Foreman screen, pulls up, and banks it in.
A tough shot and a nice bounce right off of that box in the shot clock. A great opportunity forced for CSI's defense, but it was a good shot overall from Patterson.
My father always told me the backboard is your friend.
Absolutely.
May have been more than a friend to Patterson right there. Kick out to Waterman. He was ready to shoot it, pulls the trigger, and it rolls off the rim, no good. Here come the Spartans. Ruckert thought about the three. Instead looks to drive, and he draws the foul.
Foul's going to be on Chestnut. That'll be his first. And we're going to have another media timeout.
Oh, we will step aside for another media timeout. Our score, Stack 26, Staten Island 20.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast. Everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials. Check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
Excuse me. And we are back from the tank where the Dolphins trail by 6. Our score, Spartans 26 and the Dolphins 20. 9 early points for Bryce Waterman. He's off to a hot start, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Lawrence Foreman had 7 quick points. James Patterson has 5. Kyle Pulliam has 4. And Vasilis Talias also has 5 points. As this is Zion Ruckert at the line for 2 shots, and he misses the first. Second free throw is good. Goldstein moving up the floor quickly. He's pressured by Patterson and kicked it out to Chestnut. Inside of 20 on the shot clock. Mallory swings it. Now this is Goldstein again up to Waterman. Waterman back to Goldstein, left wide open in the corner. Splash.
Nice look right there from Waterman. And with the advantage of the numbers for CSI, a wide open three-pointer for Goldstein to put them now within 4.
Patterson lost the ball, and he was fouled. Well, I spoke about it early in the game. Dolphins, last time they faced the Spartans team, did not fare well. It was a lopsided win for Stack. But the Dolphins were dealing with a lot of injuries late last season. They sort of limped their way into the playoffs in terms of their health. Along the way last year, they lost quite a few players who were in the rotation this year. And this is a very different CSI team, not only in terms of the players who have come back, but in terms of the talent they've added.
And look what Stack did in that game as well, Joe. They shot 47% from the field and 51% from the three-point line. Really tough to really win that game when Stack's shooting like that.
They're shooting 50% from the field right now. Just 2 of 8 from downtown, but it's early. Dolphins, meanwhile, 5 of 12 from distance. 4 to shoot. Patterson finds Foreman, and Foreman lays it in over Mallory.
Nice look right there to get Foreman under the basket. Foreman's had himself a strong start in this first half.
Chestnut will call for a screen from Mallory. He heads the other way. Wanted Messiah on the kick out, but Patterson stifled the pass. In the corner, Javion Patterson wide open, couldn't connect. And James Patterson stepped on the baseline.
That's a big break for CSI right there.
Chestnut pressured by Patterson across the timeline. Under 6 minutes to play in the first half. There's Mallory working on the baseline. His mid-range jumper too strong. Patterson with the rebound.
So tough for Mallory to get a shot over the 6'9" Foreman. Almost got that one to roll in the rim, but just rolled out.
Patterson on the wing. Sends it up top for Barnes. Barnes gets right around Waterman, but his bank shot won't go. Tipped by Foreman, almost rolled in. But the Dolphins come away with the board.
We've seen a couple of shots so far in this first half, Joe, go in and out of the rim. Not falling for either team.
Mallory. Hands off to Goldstein. Kick out for Waterman. Dangerous pass. McAllister. Pull up along the baseline. No good. And Foreman has the rebound. Patterson races up the floor. Pushed off there. Got away with it. And now Javion Patterson buries the three.
And you can see TJ Tibbs was talking about the push-off right there. You could clear as day see it from Patterson, but he gets a wide open three from the other Patterson, Javion, to now give them a 9-point lead.
Waterman. No good. Poked away by Chestnut, but he could not save it. And it will be Spartans basketball.
And probably the best that Chestnut did poke that away because Jamal Barnes was ready to go on the fast break. As we have a bunch of subs coming in for both sides.
5 on the floor for the Dolphins. Adeleo Yakonmi, Chris Clancy, Aaron Goldstein, Bryce Waterman, and Messiah Mallory. On the other side, Talius, Pulliam, Smith, Foreman, and Milirons out there for the Spartans. And we spoke about what Pulliam did during the Tournament of Heroes. How about Rich Smith? He played extremely well, was unstoppable in transition.
And we see him early on in this game also making a huge impact for the Spartans. But, Joe, this is a big point right now in the game for CSI. It's a 9-point game. Got to try to avoid making it double digits.
Mallory stifled what I think was a pass coming from Smith, but Pulliam, waiting on the wing, knocks down another three, and the Spartans have jumped ahead by 12.
That was a tough shot from Pulliam because Oyakami had his hand right basically on the ball, but it fell down for him.
The Spartans have had a lot of tough shots thus far. As we will head to a media timeout. 3:47 to go in the first half. Dolphins trail 35-23.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Reese, 47 to go here in the first half at the Tank. Dolphins trail 35-23. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Nick Pavona on the call for CSI Sportsnet. And Nick, Dolphins now trailing by 12, and it just happened so quickly with the Spartans team. They can fill it up and build a lead in a very short amount of time.
And that's something that CSI really needs to try to avoid overall, Joe, because when it comes down to the Spartans team, they can go on runs like this, and they've gone on a run right here. Now the CSI needs their own type of run to try to cut the deficit before going into the half.
Waterman swarmed. Forced to dribble back out to the outside. 8 to shoot for CSI. Long entry pass to Mallory was tipped, and Messiah touched it last. In 3.5 minutes, we'll be joined for our TLC Physical Therapy halftime report by men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs. TJ joins us each and every game. Joined us on the Dolphin Pod late in our last episode that premiered during the pregame. That conversation was cut a bit short as we had tip-off incoming from the tank. Skis can't finish the layup. The rebound was snatched away by Oyakonmi, but the Dolphins are whistled for a foul.
That's another costly foul for CSI right now. That's going to put them now at 6 fouls in this first half. So they are approaching the bonus territory with this next foul.
Both teams have done a good job limiting fouls in this first half. Just 2 for Stack, 6 for the Dolphins, as we just mentioned with 3.5 to go. A bit less than that, 3:11 to go. Pulliam's 3 too strong. McAllister has the rebound. And Goldstein will push it up the floor. Clancy reels in the pass. Mallory back to the basket. Dribbles out to the perimeter. Hands off to Clancy. Now Goldstein with 10 to shoot. Looks to attack. McAllister back out. Goldstein for 3. No good. Smith with the board.
The Dolphins now, Joe, looking to buy a bucket. They have not made a basket in a couple minutes.
There's Smith in transition again. Couldn't convert on that layup with the left hand. We're now under 2.5 to go in the first half. Goldstein was fouled from behind.
That's going to be on Smith.
For Rich Smith, his first, team's third.
Having a conversation with TJ Tibbs and the referee. Looks like maybe about the shot clock, I'm going to assume.
I think it's regarding.
It is the shot clock. They had 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Okay. I'm trying to listen in to no avail, but maybe they'll fill us in over at the scores table at halftime.
And it went from 22 seconds back to 20, so.
Clancy just got it into Mallory. Sire drives baseline. Finds an open Clancy. No good. Dolphins have gone cold.
And against a team like this in the Spartans, they could not have afforded a run like this.
Patterson on the pull-up. A bit short. Rebound ends up with Goldstein. He heaves one to Mallory. Right on target. And Messiah throws it down.
Great outlook pass right there from Goldstein and a great dunk from Mallory. A perfect bucket right there from CSI to get them back within 10.
What a pass by Aaron Goldstein. He heaved it up the floor and hit Mallory in stride for the dunk. And the CSI faithful, the Fanatics, hoping that perhaps can energize the Dolphins. We approach a minute to go in the half. Skis lost the ball. Goldstein will pull up for 3. And he knocks it down. Aaron Goldstein for 3.
That's a tough one, Joe, because when you have 3-on-1 numbers like that, most of the time you're going to want to try to get the bucket inside the paint. Goldstein stopped, looked, took the 3, puts his team back within 7. A huge run now for the Dolphins as we get a timeout forced on the Spartans.
CSI with a quick 5 points. They are back to within 7. We head to our final break of the first half. CSI trailing 35-28. We're back after a quick break. The Dolphins have pulled to within 7. Stack was in front by as many as 12 points. And the Spartans will inbound with just over a minute to go in this first half. Talius was left open. Mallory closed quickly. This is Smith. He's defended by Goldstein. Now Patterson working against Clancy. Wants his teammates to clear out. He ends up triple teamed. It's poked away right into the waiting arms of Smith, who lays it in.
Right place at the right time for Rich Smith right there, as Clancy poked the ball away, but he was cutting to the basket and gets an easy 2 points.
Patterson ended up triple teamed. The Dolphins knocked the ball loose, and Smith was waiting all alone under the rim. Waterman with his back to the basket. Takes the fade away. That's way off, and it's tipped into the hands of Mallory. And Mallory nets the mid-range shot.
Well, once again, Joe, right place, right time. This time from Mallory, as Patterson could not bring down the rebound, and the Dolphins get a second chance points right there.
Talius, rejected by Mallory. He saves it right to Patterson, who lays it in with 1 second to go in the half.
Talk about a momentum kill right there for CSI. Great block from Mallory. Kept it in to try to keep the half going and give the Dolphins a chance to get some points, but unfortunately right into Patterson's arms to end the first half.
TLC Physical Therapy halftime report with men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs coming up in just a few moments.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experience as possible.
And we are courtside with men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs. Coach, Stack comes in, regionally acclaimed program, conference matchup. How big is this game? What does it mean to you and your team?
It's a big game. You know, we have a lot of respect for their program and what they've done and what they're doing this year. I mean, they're the best team in the region, one of the best teams in the country, but it's year in and year out. It's well-deserved, and we have a lot of respect. They came out, they played a hard game. Our kids are playing hard too. You know, they made one big run in the middle of it. I thought we answered it. We got to make the effort play at the end of the half right there. And that's the story of the game when you play against Stack. It's the effort plays. They're going to keep coming in waves. They're going to keep fighting. And they're super well coached. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Matt and what he does and what he has done. And we're in a game right now.
I think you touched on it with that last answer, but second half, you began to close the gap late in that first half. What needs to happen to come all the way back and take this win?
I also think a couple of our shots are going to fall. If we get those looks, we're real confident with that. So they got to fall a little bit. We got to play a little bit tougher. There's 9 fouls called, 2 teams that are pressing, 9 fouls called. So, you know, the game is going to be, it's officiated well, but they're going to let you play. So we got to play through some of that physicality. We have to put some of that physicality into the game, and we have to answer back. So we'll see what happens in the second half.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck in the second half.
I appreciate it.
That's men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs. His team trails at the half, 39-30 our score heading into the intermission. When we come back, the second half from the College of Staten Island.
Basketball has a special place in my heart because of the experiences it has given me and the purpose I have found along the way. Basketball taught me that success doesn't require perfection. Rather, I should pursue excellence in everything that I do. Basketball has led me on a journey where I've accumulated numerous life lessons to value relationships, practice integrity, and demonstrate commitment. I've learned to welcome mistakes and not only accept adversity, but embrace it. It has the unique effect of eliciting talents in someone which would have otherwise lain dormant. It is something that builds character, an element that is essential to a player's growth and development. You sometimes wonder if all the mornings and late nights are really worth it. Then you look to your left and right, and you see your teammates beside you, and you know you're not alone. and it's comforting. When you're part of a team, there's a special joy in playing for something bigger than yourself. Basketball taught me how to embrace a community. Like music, it brings people together. When you make contributions to your team, your program, it's a rewarding feeling knowing the impact you have on the larger community when you observe how much it inspires the people around you.
Dear basketball, I was only a few months old when I took my first photograph with a ball in my lap. From that moment on, you never left me. Growing up in a small village in upstate New York, 2 miles from the Canadian border, you were my constant go-to for fun and entertainment. No matter if there was 3 feet of snow or the sun was scorching hot, I always found a way to be with you as you brought me so much joy. As a child, you always had a way of bringing the neighborhood kids together. Every day we would find our way to the circular paved patio I had in my yard with an 8-foot rim nailed to a tree. It wasn't the classiest court to play on, but it worked for us, and it's where my passion for you began. Little did I know you would take my friends and family on a journey of a lifetime. It was from you where I learned to be brave, courageous, and adventurous, that if I stuck with it through my moments of failure, disappointment, and heartache, I could achieve anything I put my mind to. Like attending Duke University on a full scholarship where I was able to surround myself in greatness both in the classroom and on the court. It is here where I truly learned how to step out of my comfort zone and discover what I was made of, refusing to let my insecurities and fears hold me back. Gail Gueston-Course and her incredible staff, along with my teammates, gave me a family away from home that I could have never dreamt of as a little girl. The ACC championships, the NCAA tournaments, including the national championship game in 1999, cannot match the friendships and relationships I developed because of basketball. See, I find it to be the relationships that we develop through our sports participation that are in fact the most meaningful and memorable. Basketball, you have given me a life team that I can never repay you for. You have supplied me with a platform that allows me to give back, to inspire, motivate, encourage individuals to go after their passions, to push through their failures and be fearless in stepping out of their comfort zones. It was because of you I was able to start my first company with co-founder Colleen Healy from UConn Women's Basketball called Orca Leadership. Orca standing for opportunity, resilience, contribution, and accountability. All 4 pillars we learned from playing your game. Even further, we were able to start up our own academy called Beyond the Game Academy, helping athletes across the country reach their dreams. I could have never imagined this life, and I have you to thank. Thank you, basketball.
The opportunities that basketball provided for me has been crazy. Being able to travel all over the world, to even a different country, just being able to meet so many different people and build so many different relationships has definitely just opened so many doors for me.
Opportunities that basketball has provided me, just to meet a lot of people, travel a lot of places, around the world and also around the country. It's just, a great experience to make me a more well-rounded person.
Just being able to learn from my teammates, learning really what sacrifice is about, learning about hard work, just being a part of a team, having that support group, having somebody that's there to support you no matter what. It's been great.
Basketball has given me a lot of opportunities. Obviously, just traveling and coming here, this is special. And we went to Spain over the summer, and I'd never been out the country before that, so it was special. And obviously, just giving me a free education. I mean, it's a big thing, and I'm glad basketball has been able to do it for me.
It's provided a lot of opportunities, provided me to get a college degree, travel places that I never thought I would travel to, and just meet new people.
I'd say basketball has just provided me with a variety of opportunities. I mean, just the connections that I made in the Purdue community, and kind of just growing as a player and as a person has. I'm definitely blessed and grateful to have all these opportunities.
Dear basketball, since I was a kid, you have always been a way for me to clear my mind of everything going on in life and just have fun playing and competing. You led me to seeing you where I've become a part of a close-knit basketball family. You've let me build relationships with my brothers that not many people get to experience, and these relationships have been able to grow and will certainly last a lifetime. You have taught me that this sport is more than getting the best stats or winning the most games, but it's about enjoying the experience, making a difference in the community, and always competing at my highest level. Through great leadership from Coach K and other coaches, you have given me top-of-the-line resources to learn not only about the game, but about life and being a man of integrity and humility. I would not be the person I am today if it wasn't for you, and I am forever grateful for the lessons you have taught me and the memories that I will have for the rest of my life.
College basketball has provided me with a platform to not only have fun on the court and be around some amazing teammates, but also kind of supplement academics with just another side of the Notre Dame experience, because sports are such an important part of the tradition there, and being a part of the Notre Dame sports tradition in any way is just an incredible honor. It's amazing. I mean, just being here all week, there's just so much recognition for such an amazing sport and such amazing teams that are here, and to be a part of that in any small way is just incredible, and I'm so lucky to be here. Just the value of determination, perseverance, and self-confidence in getting where you want to go in life. I've definitely learned a lot being around a team of such strong, inspiring women, and I can only hope to emulate their talent on the basketball court and other parts of my life. I'm a computer science major in Notre Dame's College of Engineering, and I was really drawn to it because I've always kind of loved math and science, and it's a really fun way to apply problem-solving skills to different situations, especially in today's day and age where technology is becoming such an integral part of society. Just figuring out different ways I can contribute to that, I'm really excited to see where it'll take me in the future. I mean, I think just the general mindset of approaching something from how can I solve this in not only the best way but the most efficient way, because there's a big emphasis on that in a lot of my classes, and just kind of seeing how the sports world and the academic world can overlap, even with just the GPS things that we wear during practice to keep track of how hard we're working. Just the technology behind that is super interesting to me also. When I first came to campus, I was hoping to get involved in the women's basketball program in some way, and I applied to be a manager, and I thought that would be an awesome opportunity, super excited. And then I got an email about walk-on tryouts. I'm like, oh, this would be a great way to go meet other girls to play pickup with. I had no idea it would lead to any of this, trust me, but I'm so glad it has. And after that, that's how I met some of the women's basketball people and how I got connected to be a team manager for the program. So I started doing that first semester of my freshman year, and then, as you probably know the story, last year with the 4 ACL tears, they just needed another practice player kind of thing. So I turned from a manager to a walk-on and got the opportunity to go in some games, just help the team out any way I could, and that was an incredible ride, obviously ending with the championship last season, which was amazing. And then same thing this year, kind of just some injuries happened and they needed someone to step up. So, I mean, I'm here to be whatever they need me to be, and I'm so blessed to be a part of this program in any way. Kind of going between the manager and walk-on role, I mean, it is a different type of thing I'm doing, but it's still being around the same girls every day and just being around the team. And for me, that was such a valuable thing. And again, I guess my passion for basketball and how much I just love the sport kind of made that seem easy. Not really something I thought about a ton, just because every day it wasn't about what I could do. It was just about kind of getting out and playing the game I love every day and just being around it in any way.
Basketball has given me everything in my life. It's given me a chance to get a college education. Gives my families to take trips to these cool tournaments we go to, and most importantly, my relationships with the people I've met throughout the years, and Coach Izzo down to my junior high coach. It's provided me with great relationships with teammates and guys that I'll be talking to for the rest of my life.
Basketball has provided me with just obviously the education portion of it is huge, and also just the relationships I was able to build with my teammates, guys on different teams that go to my school, like the football team and the soccer team. There's also just the relationships that I'm able to build outside of, athletics, and I believe that's huge, just being able to go and meet new people, especially at a big university like Ohio State, and just kind of get your network around and just see the way different people think and react to things.
I'd say basketball provided me with, the opportunity just to be around good people and meet people that can help me in life and give me a free education and be able to somewhat set myself up for a better life.
It has offered me the opportunity to go to college, to leave my hometown, travel the world, build outstanding relationships and friendships. I'm forever grateful and owe a lot of gratitude to the game of basketball and to God for putting the basketball in my hands. So basketball has really blessed me a lot.
My dad was a soccer coach and bought this little book bag.
I could sit in the book bag, like facing backwards and look like my legs out. So I'd be in his book bag when my dad coaches and the ball's going around. I'm like kicking at the ball in the back. And my dad was like, we have a prodigy. So he put me into soccer and it just progressed from there. The catalyst was the opportunity to play soccer at a Division II school. I loved the team. They brought me in like I was one of their own. The professors help out so much. They actually care about developing me, not only so I just memorize the material and able to take a test, but am I able to apply the information. I don't feel nervous asking them, hey, I'm not going to be in class, can you send me something? And they're completely fine with it and they understand, which is the best part. On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do. Be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I'm able to go out and become president of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. SAC is consistent of like a ton of different backgrounds, and we'll come up with cool ideas for like fundraisings and having the opportunity to raise money for Make-A-Wish and knowing it's going towards a good cause. Not only motivates me, but it motivates the whole community. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
And we're back here at the tank for the second half of this doubleheader between the Spartans and the Dolphins. Spartans lead this one 39-30. They'll be on the call for the second half for the moment as Joe Foreman is attending to the other side of the court at the statisticians/PA desk. So hopefully we'll see Joe in a little bit, but for now I will bring you the action here. Spartans at one point led this game by 12 points. Dolphins were able to cut the deficit. A great block on the final play of the first half for Messiah Mallory, but unfortunately led to a bucket for James Patterson to give them now a 9-point lead to start off the second half. This is Smith with the ball, gives up to Polium. Polium on the dribble, looking for somewhere to go, gives it up to Barnes. Barnes gives it to Patterson. Patterson gets a tough bucket. A tough two right there for James Patterson to put his team now up 11. Patterson now tied for the team lead in points with that last two. Now has 9 in the game. He's tied with Lawrence Foreman for the team lead. This is McAllister, gives it up to Goldstein. Goldstein to Waterman on the three. Waterman tries to get it to Chestnut, but stolen away by Patterson. Patterson falls to the court as he got the pass off to Polium. This is Foreman on the inside. Ball was tipped by Chestnut. Now it's Smith to Patterson, and Patterson will go to the free throw line. Foul's going to be on Messiah Mallory. So Mallory will be the one called for the free throw, for the foul, as it's going to be Patterson that will shoot the free throws right here. Patterson leading the team with 25 points per game. As he misses the first one. Patterson has also won 4 consecutive ECC Player of the Week honors, so certainly a formidable force for the Spartans team. At 25 points, also has 8.6 rebounds per game. But he does miss both free throws as McAllister is the one that comes down with it. This is Chestnut. Chestnut gives it up to McAllister. McAllister drives to the basket and gets the two. Tough layup right there for Jordan McAllister. And he puts the Dolphins now within 9. This is Patterson, 2-on-1 potential, and he gets a perfect look to Foreman on the dunk. Been a good game so far for Lawrence Foreman. Couple big offensive rebounds. A nice dunk right there puts his team back up 11. This is Waterman for three. Off the mark and rebounded by Smith. Smith to Patterson. Patterson will pull up for three. That one is off the mark and rebounded by Mallory. Goldstein will bring it up for CSI. Goldstein gives it up to Mallory. Mallory will now shoot the three. That one is good. Messiah Mallory hits a big three and cuts this game back down to single digits. Dolphins going with a half-court trap. Now here's Polium on the other side with the ball. Gives it up to Patterson. Back to Polium. Now inside to Foreman. And Foreman once again under the basket gets an easy two. Foreman now has 13 points in this game, and he puts his team back up 10. McAllister to Waterman. Waterman to Goldstein. Goldstein looking for somewhere to go. Gives it back to Waterman. Waterman to Mallory. Now out to Goldstein. Goldstein will shoot a long three. Off the mark. Waterman got the offensive rebound. Second chance points for CSI potential. And it's missed and rebounded by Foreman. This is Rich Smith now with the ball. This is Barnes for three. That one is no good. Ball still loose. Picked up from McAllister. But it looks like there's going to be a foul called on the court. And the Dolphins are not happy with that one. A very late whistle. As the Dolphins had the ball and were in transition before the whistle was called. Nonetheless, a foul called on CSI. Second team foul of this second half now for the Dolphins. As I'm now being rejoined by my broadcast partner, Joe Foreman.
Well, Nick, it's a long story, but my presence was needed over at the main table at the start of the second half. We had some audio track issues to take care of, so we got everything sorted out in time for our second half schedule of timeout events. I was told at some point we were going to have a sack race, but I don't see any of those lying around. But nonetheless, there were audio tracks that had to be downloaded and then uploaded. So I took care of that for everyone and missed the first 3.5 minutes here in the second half. But we're back where I belong at the commentary desk. The Dolphins trail by 10. This is Patterson on the turnaround jumper, and he buries it.
Nice turnaround jumper from Patterson right there. Puts his team back up 12. It's been very back and forth so far in the second half, Joe.
Dolphins push the ball up the floor through heavy pressure, and Mallory ends up with an easy 2 points. And the Dolphins steal it off the inbound. Clancy left open. Splash! And the Dolphins trail by 7.
Look at that turnaround right there for CSI. 5 quick points. And now they get a foul forced. And the tank has come alive, Joe.
And TJ Tibbs loves that harassing defense from Shamar Laddie. He drew the offensive foul as he was shoved away ahead of the inbound. It will be Dolphins ball when we come back from this media timeout. Chi Aesthetics Med Spa and Wellness Center. Our approach to beauty and wellness begins with a holistic plan tailored to the unique needs of our patients. When we consult with patients, we let them tell us what their problem is. We don't tell them what the issue is. We find out what they're looking for, and we discuss, and then we give them options. If you're looking to achieve radiant skin, you've come to the right place. We offer hydrofacials, microneedling, Opus Plasma, peels, facial and laser treatments, laser hair removal, body sculpting, fat freezing, hormone replacement therapy, Botox, IV drip therapy, and more. We are open Monday through Saturday and are located at 720 Forest Avenue, Staten Island, New York, 10310. We hope to see you soon. Visit our website at www.chiaesthetics.com for more information. And we are back from the College of Staten Island, where the Dolphins fell behind by 12. And Nick, once again, they respond with a 5-0 run and are back to within 7.
And how about this? They also forced a foul on the play. Laddie, I believe, also was the one that tipped the ball on that turnover on the inbound pass that led to that three-pointer for Clancy. And then he forced the offensive foul right after the three-pointer. So Laddie making some big plays on the inbound play. And now the Dolphins have the ball down 7, trying to make this interesting down the final 15:57 of the second half.
Shamar Laddie making a big impact in his second half minutes. He remains in with Oyakonmi, Clancy, Mallory, and Waterman. This is Clancy. He hands off to Laddie and gets it right back, but it was knocked away, and it will stay Dolphins ball.
Very important possession right here, Joe. The Dolphins can get some points, keep this run going, and try to cut more into this deficit.
Clancy with 6 to shoot, goes to the rim, and it's swatted away by Patterson.
Patterson forced the tip play before that, and now with a nice emphatic rejection right there. 5 seconds to go on the shot clock for the Dolphins.
Waterman will inbound. He finds Clancy. 3 to shoot. Step back 3 on its way. No good. And Oyakonmi has the rebound. And he had it stripped away. This is Barnes. Barnes for Ruckert, and he gets it right back. Patterson fakes. Backs in, is triple teamed, and has it stolen. Laddie keeps it. Laddie for Clancy. And Clancy will send it out to Waterman, but an offensive foul was called under the basket on Adelaide Oyakonmi.
Oyakonmi is not happy with that call. That's a big break for the Spartans right there. The Dolphins had an opportunity to get a made basket right there, but now Oyakonmi, I believe now that's his 3rd foul of the game.
And that will force him to the bench. That is indeed his 3rd foul, and Michael Oyakonmi will check in to replace him. And the Dolphins again able to harass on the inbounds pass. Nothing coming easily for the Spartans.
They are making it very hard to get that inbound pass going, and another turnover force. It's been a strong defensive second half so far for the Dolphins.
Clancy will inbound this time. He finds Waterman. Mallory has Smith all over him. Now defended by Talius. 10 to shoot for Laddie. He uses the Mallory screen. Finds Messiah open for 3. Too strong, and Laddie has another Dolphins offensive rebound. Clancy, head fake, 3-pointer. Too strong, and Oyakonmi is fouled by Barnes after he grabbed an offensive board.
And kind of similar to what we saw in the first half, Joe, saw off the first half. A lot of offensive rebounds forced by the Dolphins off of missed shots, getting those second chance opportunities, and now they forced the foul right there. So once again, another fresh 20 coming up for CSI.
James Patterson will head to the bench for Stack, along with Jamal Barnes. Milirons, Foreman, Smith, Pulliam in the game, along with Talius. 15 to shoot for the Dolphins. Clancy out to Mallory. Messiah thought about the 3. Crosses over. Clancy won't think much. And he's off the mark, but Oyakonmi has another Dolphins offensive rebound.
I think that's now, the 4th offensive rebound the Dolphins have had on this ensuing possession.
Clancy off the crossover, has 3 to shoot. Laddie for 3, air ball. And Shamar thought he may have been fouled.
And Dolphins did get a lot of opportunities right there, Joe, but you got to give the Spartans some credit. Good defensive stand all around. Despite giving up all those rebounds, they were able to force that shot clock violation That's a big miss for CSI. After getting all those rebounds, they were not able to get any points.
Spartans sending Michael Parada into the game as Oyakonmi boxes him out and grabs the rebound off that last miss. Laddie out to Clancy. Waterman inside for Mallory. Mallory finds Clancy, and he rattles in a three.
That's good court vision from Mallory. He was under the basket looking for someone to pass, and he found he found Chris Clancy on the outside for the three.
Smith over to Parada. Now Pulliam at the top of the arc. He's defended by Oyakonmi. Feed inside to Foreman. Foreman almost lost it. Kicks out. Pulliam for three. No good. Tipped by Waterman into the arms of Smith. He goes at Mallory, and that's an offensive foul. Messiah is fired up as the Dolphins have pulled to within 4, and they have possession with over 13 minutes to play.
That's a big, good job play right there from Mallory. Stood under the basket, forced that charge right there. A big, swing of momentum right there after forcing that charge. Now the Dolphins can make this show a one-possession game.
There's a big difference between that basket counting with the foul and a free throw coming as opposed to a turnover.
How about that dribble move from Chestnut getting out of the double team?
15 on the shot clock as Chestnut gets the play from the Dolphins bench. Chestnut pulls up. Off back iron, no good. Rebounded by Smith. Smith up ahead to Mill Irons. He gets it back. Now Pulliam in heavy traffic. No good on the pull-up. Clancy dribbles up the floor. Hands off to Mallory. Swings to Waterman for three. Splash! And the Dolphins are back within 1.
Bryce Waterman with another big three right there, Joe, and it's now a 1-point game. What a strong start to the second half for CSI.
Coach Tibbs said it to me at halftime. The shots will start falling for his team. And fallen, those shots have here in the second half. Helped along by stifling defense as Smith rattles in the pull-up, and that quiets the crowd.
That was a dangerous inbound pass right there from Clancy as he now brings the ball up the court.
Waterman for the tie. Splash! And we are knotted up at 49.
Bryce Waterman's got ice in his veins right now, Joe. Another big three-pointer. And I think was that a 5-second violation potentially?
It was an inbound violation on the Spartans, if I'm not mistaken, which would give the Dolphins possession. And with that, we are headed to immediate timeout. And we will see what comes of that last whistle when we come back. The Dolphins have erased a 12-point deficit, and we are all tied up at 49.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast. Everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials. Check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
And we are back from the tank where the Dolphins have tied up the score at 49. Bryce Waterman with that last three-pointer from the corner gets CSI even. They trailed by as many as 12. Pulliam left wide open, and the Dolphins get away with it. It will be CSI basketball, and now the Dolphins have a chance to take the lead.
Talk about a turn of events here in the second half. Now that it's the Spartans that have gone cold from the court, and the Dolphins are starting to heat up. And you're absolutely right. If they can score in this possession, the Dolphins will take the lead.
Goldstein over to Chestnut. Now Clancy back to Chestnut. Dolphins have 15 to shoot. Waterman for Chestnut. JJ looks to drive and was fouled on the way in.
Let's see what the foul was called on. It's going to be on Mill Irons.
Waterman will inbound from the baseline. 20 on the shot clock. Waterman finds Chestnut, who hands off to Goldstein. Waterman, open three. Splash! And the Dolphins take the lead by 3.
He's playing NBA Jam, Joe. He's heated up.
Bryce on fire in this second half. His outside shooting has propelled the Dolphins ahead with just inside of 11 minutes to play. Deshaun Krim in the game for Stack. First we've seen of him, at least with me here at the desk, as Goldstein stole it and was able to tip it to Chestnut. I'm getting carried away here, Nick. And Mallory's floater is good. CSI leads by 5. Timeout, Spartans.
And look at that bench, Joe. They are pumped up right now. The tank is electric. 5-point lead with 10:19 to go. Here come the Dolphins.
I was halfway between Tip and Chestnut. As we head to break, I'll get my tongue untied. Dolphins lead it by 5. Here's a look at that last Waterman 3 in double speed. We'll get one more look at it in real time as we head to break.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
And we are back from the tank where the Dolphins lead is now 5 points. Our score, Staten Island 54, St. Thomas Aquinas 49. And Nick, Dolphins behind the red-hot shooting of Bryce Waterman and stifling defense have erased a 12-point deficit and turned that into a 5-point advantage.
Well, Joe, you think about it. Look at the last 3 wins for the Dolphins. That has been the big reason why they have gotten those wins. They force a lot of good defensive stands, forcing those turnovers, especially in this game off the inbound pass, and you talked about it perfectly. Bryce Waterman is absolutely heated up here in the second half, has been automatic for Dolphins, and he's a big reason why they're up 5 now.
Spartans will inbound it from the baseline. Right off that last Dolphins basket, they get the full 30-second shot clock. This is Krim up ahead for Pulliam. Krim gets it right back, kicks out. Talias thought about a 3, instead gives it up to Barnes. Patterson up top for Krim. Barnes on the wing will look to drive, gets inside, finds Krim open. Extra pass, Talias, no good from 3. Patterson has the board, and he puts it back up and in.
And a time call on the court.
Not sure why.
Yeah, did they call a foul on CSI?
I think Chestnut was getting into it under the basket with one of the Spartans. We may have to go back to replay on this. I'll see if I can pick anything up on our live feed via the Sportsnet YouTube channel. And, Nick, I think they're coming over.
And I would think so. That's exactly what's going to happen, Joe. We're going to have a review on if it was an intentional foul or not. We saw this in the women's game as well.
All right, Tyler has it, so I don't think they need me. And as Tyler plays it back for the officials, I'll try and walk you through what we're seeing on the screen. So that last basket was made by Patterson. And we'll see how far back they look to wind it. It was Chestnut who got hit in the face. There you see Chestnut reacting. Let's see where it is that he took the contact. Right there, JJ defending Patterson.
And you see it right there, Joe.
Yep.
Patterson. It looks like aiming into contact with Chestnut.
The question becomes whether or not it was intentional, and we'll see what the officials decide, but all three officials now have gotten a look at it. I'm actually watching it back on the monitor, and you can see that Patterson very intentionally threw what appeared to be a hand in JJ's face. Now, you can't tell whether it was, the bottom of his palm, a closed fist, or just pushing JJ away, but there was definitely contact, and it was definitely intentional.
It looks like he closed his fist to try to get him off and try to get some separation between himself and Chestnut.
Well, if they determine that he closed his fist, he'll likely be out of the game.
And how big would that be considering the points that he's averaging on the season? That's a big loss for the Spartans if that were to be the case.
I'm getting one more look at it on our monitor right now. Watching it back, it doesn't look like his hand was up near JJ's mouth. It looked like he hit him in the throat. So tough to tell. Our angle isn't the best. But JJ immediately threw his hand in the air. And that's certainly an offensive foul. There's no question about it. That should have been a whistle and a dead ball. But Patterson went on to score. So that should not be lost in this, is that Patterson converted on the basket, and then the whistle came. So we'll see what the officials decide. They're still talking about it at center court right now.
And I have a feeling this might be a little bit of a lengthy discussion, Joe, because it's a big situation. Because if it is intentional, then you're absolutely right. Patterson is going to come out of the game.
We'll see what they decide.
And it looks like they're just going to wave it off.
All right. All right, no upgrade to the call, no foul on Patterson.
So the Dolphins will inbound. It's still up 3 points.
Now that the call has been made, I can tell you that based upon the reaction that I heard from the officials who were looking at it, I thought for sure they were going to at least call a foul.
Yeah.
20 on the shot clock. Goldstein doubled. He finds Mallory. Clancy was open, but Mallory's pass was tipped. Here comes Krim. Krim into the corner. Patterson fakes. Takes it inside. Throws one up, and he draws contact. And we'll head to the line for 2 shots.
Patterson now trying to take over this game, Joe, here in the late stages of this one. So now go to the free throw line, try to put his team within 1.
I think we have some aspiring commentators in the crowd as well.
We heard some words in the first game as well. Whether they be
those were aspiring officials.
Whether they be derogatory or not.
Well, it's all in good fun until the profanity starts. Then I have to take off the headset and act as security. That's no fun. We don't want that.
We do not want that.
I almost left headset in the first game.
Yeah.
We were this close. Meanwhile, Patterson has pulled the Spartans back to within 1 with that first free throw. He has one more coming from the line. And Patterson goes 2 for 2.
Now a 1-point game with those free throws.
Just inside of 9.5 minutes to go. Clancy. Out to Chestnut. Chestnut to the basket, and he can't finish. Tough shot in traffic for JJ, and with that, Spartans can now take the lead with the basket. Pulliam in the corner. Defended by Clancy, finds Patterson. Now Barnes gets by Waterman. Throws one up and commits the charge.
Second time in the second half, Joe, we've seen the Dolphins force a charge, and this time it's Goldstein that forces it. So another good defensive stand for CSI.
Dolphins have done a great job defensively drawing charges in this game. We saw one earlier by Mallory in a big spot. CSI will have to continue contending with this stack press for the next 8:40. Dolphins do get it up. Chestnut kicks out. Clancy wide open. Splash! And the Dolphins are back in front by 4.
What a pass from Chestnut on that one, finding the wide open Clancy once again at the three-point line, and another big three puts CSI at 4.
That's his third triple. Clancy, 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. And at the other end, Stack has an answer.
Now a 2-point game after that made 2.
Goldstein kicks out. Clancy open again. Splash! Chris Clancy heating up now.
First it was Waterman, now it's Clancy. The Dolphins from the three-point line, how about them in the second half, Joe? They have been automatic and nothing but net on all of them.
Dare I say, a CC3 for Chris Clancy.
Foul was called on the Dolphins right there.
No comment, Nick?
Well,
we had to retire the CV3 after last year.
That's true. That's true. And Chris Velasquez was the leading scorer for the Dolphins last time these two teams met.
With that, we have a potato sack race. We are not going anywhere. Tyler, get on our second camera. Let's take a look courtside.
We got some riveted action right here.
Two young fans getting a chance to participate in our potato sack race. An early stumble out of the gate, not as easy as it looks.
I've done this before, Joe. It's not easy at all.
Especially on a hardwood floor. I'm certainly not getting in that potato sack.
No.
As we're across the half-court line. Now, are you allowed to run? He's not hopping. I don't know if you can do that. And we have a stumble across the finish line. The crowd loves it.
We've got a photo finish there.
Joseph and Paul, our contestants, if I heard correctly, over public address. How about that for some timeout entertainment?
Can't beat it. Can't beat it right now. But, Joe, how about this second half it's been for CSI? The three-point shooting has been very, very good. We saw a big run from Waterman making his threes. Now we see Clancy with these last couple of shots making his threes. And the Dolphins now having a 5-point lead, 7:42. What are you looking for from CSI defensively to get them this win?
I think defensively the Dolphins have done a great job maintaining stiff defensive pressure without conceding anything easy around the rim, whether it be in transition or off the inbound. We've seen Stack press quite a bit. We know they can press like that without conceding any easy baskets. The Dolphins have done that well in this game as well, and I think that's something they can look to do the rest of the way. That pressure for CSI, especially on the inbound passes, have created quite a few turnovers, and that's helped them get back in this game and in front. As Krim will miss the first free throw. Dolphins' lead remains 5 points.
Something to note also, Joe, both teams would have 5 fouls right now with 7:42 left. So we're nearing the bonus for both of them.
And Krim goes 0 for 2 from the line. Waterman has the rebound. Here comes Chestnut pushing it up the floor. Mallory left open.
His bench wanted him to shoot it.
They sure did. The entire CSI bench rose to their feet there. Chestnut off the crossover. Attacks. Throws up a tough shot. Won't go, but Mallory gets the putback off the window.
Great job from Mallory to follow the shot of Chestnut and tip that ball right off of that box on the backboard, Joe. They're back now up 7.
The Dolphins lead it by 7 points, 62-55. 7 minutes to go in the second half. Patterson on the pull-up, too strong. And that's off the top of the backboard. It will be Dolphins ball.
Joe, this game has certainly been a game of runs so far for both of these teams. We saw the run in the first half for Stack, up as many as 12 points. Now this is the Dolphins' largest lead of the game right here. They had a good, strong run here in the second half.
Both of these teams looking to remain unbeaten in the East Coast Conference. The Dolphins 3-0, the Spartans 2-0. Spartans, a regional powerhouse, come in 9-1. Dolphins looking for what I think you could say would be the biggest win since men's basketball has become a Division II program. For them, I think this win would rank at the top as Goldstein can't connect on the pull-up.
A little bit too much on that jump shot for Goldstein as Patterson brings the ball up.
Pulliam had it poked away, and he was fouled.
Supposed to be Chestnut on the foul, and it is going to be on him. That's going to be the Dolphins' 6th team foul now.
And you know the Spartans, no strangers to playing through some adversity. They faced a couple of tough tests in the Tournament of Heroes, passed with flying colors. And now the Dolphins pushing them to their limit here in the second half. We have under 6.5 to play. Pulliam almost lost it out of bounds off the handoff from Patterson, but he pulls it in. 12 to shoot. He picks up his dribble, has nowhere to go with the ball. Forced it into Foreman, who somehow is able to corral it and lay it in.
Foreman has been under the basket for most of this game, Joe, and has gotten some good looks and good finds from his teammates. Gets another 2 right there.
Goldstein crosses over, goes around the back and drives. But will think better of it, pulls it out. And the Dolphins will have 15 to shoot here. Goldstein uses the Mallory screen. 10 on the shot clock. Clancy back out to Goldstein. Goldstein attacks. Mallory was left open. Waterman, three-pointer. No good. Rebounded by Foreman.
Tough shot, a good contest right there from Jamal Barnes, forcing the dribble right there from Waterman to try to get the second opportunity.
Pulliam is fouled, nearly got the shot to go, but he will head to the line for 2.
And the Dolphins now, Joe, will be in the bonus for the remainder of this game.
On their side for CSI, 7 fouls will put Stack in the 1-and-1 bonus situation. Here we have 2 shots, as it was a shooting foul against Staten Island.
And we talked about the close contest that Stack has had this season, Joe. Their only loss I mentioned earlier against Post in overtime, a 2-point win for Post, and on a last-second layup, which is 2 seconds left. So we've seen Stack in these close situations. They've been able to pull them out. We'll see if CSI can maintain their lead and hold on in this one.
2 big free throws by Pulliam. Spartans continue to press. Chestnut works his way through it. Goldstein. Back out to Chestnut. The Dolphins will get set offensively. Shot clock winds down to 15 seconds. Chestnut uses the Mallory screen, kicks out to Waterman. Waterman's pull-up is good. Big basket for Bryce Waterman, and the Dolphins call timeout.
Nice pull-up right there from Waterman. We've seen a big couple shots from him from the three-point line, but gets a big pull-up, now puts them up 5 with under 5 left.
And the Dolphins, all season long, when they found themselves in close games late, they have come through with big shots. Bryce Waterman, of course, a part of that. We saw Messiah Mallory hit a big 3 earlier in the season. I believe that was against Jefferson. Jordan McAllister has been so clutch for this Dolphins team late in games as well. I don't think we've seen him, at least since I've come back to the desk. I could be mistaken, but did he start the second half, Nick?
He did, but he came out for a little bit. Think about the reason being, Joe, is you've had guys like Clancy come off the bench, has had a big spark in this game where his shooting ability. Waterman's also been on a streak. And it really comes down to you have to roll with what's been going best for you right now. You really, as much as you want to get your stars back in the game, especially in a close one like this, you want to keep the hot hands on the court right now. That's what Coach T.J. Tibbs has done throughout most of the second half.
And he has been rewarded. Chris Clancy, 12 points on 4 of 9 from beyond the arc. Bryce Waterman has 20. He's come out, I think, for a minute or two, but that's it. Messiah Mallory with 15 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Aaron Goldstein just 9 points, but he has 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. He's out there along with Chestnut, Mallory, Clancy, and Adelaide Oyakanmi. So Bryce Waterman will get a quick breather for the Dolphins here. This is Smith with 10 to shoot now. Pulliam. And it's a 2-point game.
Kyle Pulliam, another big 3-point shot for him. He's done a lot of that all season.
And the Dolphins turn it over. They finally succumb to that press.
And I'm wondering, was there a foul called on CSI? Or is the shot clock the issue?
Looks like they're going to reset the amount of time on the shot clock. They'll bring it down to 28. The Spartans will inbound from directly to our right, 28 to shoot. Patterson hands off to Pulliam. He drives, and he ties the score.
Just like that, Pulliam with the last 5 for the Spartans ties his game.
Mallory for Clancy. Now Goldstein on the wing with 20 on the shot clock. Goldstein brings Smith out well beyond the arc. Goes to the rim, lost the ball, and it will stay with CSI.
Nice defensive play right there as Goldstein had a great opportunity to get a layup. As now we'll see Waterman check back in for the Dolphins with this tie game.
This possession a big one for the Dolphins. They have led for much of the last 7 or 8 minutes. And don't want to see that change. It is tied now. Waterman back in quickly as Clancy had that shot halfway down. Rebound to the Spartans. Pulliam, wide open 3 is good, and Stack is back in front by 3.
Pulliam scoring the last couple points for Stack. And he's now gone on a run to get them up 3.
Waterman, splash! And we're tied up again at 67.
Joe, is it All-Star Weekend? We got a 3-point contest going on here.
Both teams have shot it well from downtown these last few minutes. Stack has not shot it well in the game. And that is Talius, who banks in the fadeaway jumper. Chestnut for Waterman for 3. Splash! And Bryce has another one from downtown.
Joe, he is not human.
He is 8 of 13 from 3. And Smith charges down the floor for an easy 2. And the Dolphin bench didn't like that.
We can't catch our breath with all this fast-paced action right now.
I'm not tongue-tied this time, but I do need a bit of a break for my voice as the Dolphins now trail by 1 our score. The Spartans 71 and the Dolphins 70.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back from the College of Staten Island, where we are being treated to our second back-and-forth close game of the day. Nick, it feels like we've been here all day long. I guess I have. But this game now coming up on about 2 hours. The women's game came down to the wire, and this men's game has been back and forth, just as entertaining as our first contest. The Dolphins trail by 1 with under 3 minutes to play.
And think about what happened on that last possession. We saw Waterman hit another big 3, but the Spartans were able to go right back up the court and get a quick 2 to take that 1-point lead going into the timeout.
Chestnut has it, defended by Pulliam. Clancy in the corner. Patterson all over him. Now Chestnut with 10 to shoot. He will look to attack. And the pass to a cutting Mallory bounced off of Messiah into the arms of the Spartans. Stack has numbers. And Patterson is stripped. Mallory ahead of the field. Barnes with him. And he was fouled. Messiah fouled by Barnes from behind. He then slipped on the floor. And fortunately, he's okay.
And we saw Joe a couple games ago. He did get injured and missed 2 games because of it, but he does seem to be okay. Keep in mind, it is not a shooting foul, and they're not in the bonus just yet. That's now the 16th foul for Stack, so the Dolphins will have to inbound it.
They'll work on that wet spot on the floor as the Dolphins will make a substitution here. Aaron Goldstein to the bench, Adelaide Oyekanmi into the game.
Goldstein, the big reason why the Dolphins have the ball right now, forcing that turnover on the other side.
Oyekanmi hands off to Chestnut. Still plenty of time to shoot. Waterman won't use it. And that's off the front rim, no good. This place was ready to explode with another shot by Bryce Waterman. Smith for Talius. He's open, and he knocks down the 3.
That's a crowd killer right there, Joe. A huge 3-pointer. It's now a 2-possession game.
Dolphins need to execute here. Don't want to give the ball back to the Spartans, trailing by 2 possessions. Mallory wide open. No good from 3. And Talius has the rebound.
And foul on CSI. Fouled. And the Dolphins are in the bonus, so it's going to be a 1-and-1 coming up for the Spartans. This would be Talius going to the free throw line.
Foul, not the worst thing for CSI with the Spartans in a 1-and-1 bonus situation. They will hope that they can get a miss from Talius on the first attempt, which effectively equates to a stop. Free throw too strong, and the rebound went right to Patterson, and he is fouled.
Patterson using his big body to get in front of Clancy on the offensive rebound, and he forces the foul on the court, as the foul, I believe, was called on Clancy, and it's going to be now Patterson going to the free throw line. Both Oyekanmis now coming into the game, Joe.
Dolphins will get some extra rebounding onto the floor here. So 1-and-1. Patterson was fouled in an effort to grab the rebound. And the first free throw is good.
I mentioned earlier, Joe, Patterson, 4 consecutive ECC Player of the Week honors. He has been great for the Spartans, and they are looking for him down the stretch of this remaining 131 this game.
Well, he is one of the most versatile players in the conference, and he's put that on full display tonight. Patterson now has 18 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals.
CSI took a timeout right after the free throw. Now, if you're TJ Tibbs, Joe, what do you try to call for this play? You're down 6 with 1:30. You're trying to get back into this game, potentially maybe force overtime. What are you looking to draw up here in the remaining final minutes of this game?
If you're using a timeout in this spot, you definitely are looking to diagram something that gets you a quick basket. Whether that's a 2 or 3, we'll see. The Dolphins don't need a 3 yet. However, CSI piled up fouls very quickly, and they burned through the 1-and-1 for the Spartans in a very short time. So with the next Dolphins foul, it will be 2 free throws for the Spartans, and the Dolphins won't have that extra boost that comes from Stack potentially missing the front end of a 1-and-1. The rest of the way, CSI is going to need stops. They certainly have to score on this possession. There's no question about it. If they don't score, they're in a position where Stack can look to run off 30 seconds. That will take us well inside of a minute to play. Clancy brings it across the timeline. He's defended by Patterson. Mallory surveys the floor. Hasn't gone anywhere yet. And Messiah loses it as he attacks the basket. Dolphins bench didn't think so, and they are going to check it. So the officials will head over in just a minute.
This is a big call, Joe, because it could really lead to the Dolphins potentially maybe having to foul on this next possession. So for the second time in this game, we will have a replay review.
The play is under review.
So we'll take a look over at the monitor as well as the officials get a look at it. It's a really tough angle along the baseline. They'll slow it down. I'm not sure there's any way to get a better view than what they had from the baseline.
I think, Joe, in this situation with the angle you have, it's going to be a situation where wherever the call was on the court, it's going to unfortunately stand because of, you can't really review it due to the angle. So for CSI, it's a costly turnover here, down 6 with a minute 12 left.
Nothing that can be done there in terms of a better view. In the future, if we get some wireless transmitters, perhaps we get a second view from the other side of the floor. But we don't have that capability now as the Dolphins come away with the steal. And Oyakonmi can't convert the layup. Big opportunity missed there for the Dolphins as they are forced to foul. And the Spartans will head to the line with a chance to make this a 3-possession game.
Everything went right for CSI up until the actual shot. Unfortunately, Oyakonmi could not get it through as he got a little bit too much on that layup attempt. And now big free throws coming up as Stack looks to ice this game.
Heading to the line will be Rich Smith. Smith with 6 points, 7 rebounds in this game. He also has 3 assists. And he misses the first.
And immediately that brings back in Goldstein and Clancy for the offensive side. We'll see a lot of that in the remaining 103. We'll see both Oyakonmi's and Clancy and Goldstein subbing in and out for the defensive and offensive sides for CSI.
Well, if Smith misses here, Dolphins still have plenty of time. If he makes this, the road becomes much tougher. And he does miss, but Talius grabbed the offensive rebound, went back up with it, and then Patterson off another offensive board lost the ball.
Yeah, we're going to have to replay that one too, Joe.
I'm not sure why Talius shot it.
And you hope Patterson's okay. He took a nasty fall to the court. Does seem to be fine. And for the third time, Joe, maybe the most we've had in one game alone, we're going to have another replay review. As the call on the court right now is that it's CSI basketball. Let's see if that call stands.
Perhaps, unironically, the last 2 reviews have come on plays that have occurred as far from our camera as you can get, in the corners on the opposite side of the floor.
If you're CSI, Joe, you really need this call to go in your way. And it's going to go to CSI.
Dolphins had to have that possession. Had to have it. And now, do you have to have a 3 if you're CSI? No. But in all likelihood, I think they'll be looking for a 3.
And I would expect to see Stack potentially try to double team Waterman to make sure he is not the one that gets that 3-point shot.
Dolphins with what I would argue is probably their best shooting unit on the floor right now in terms of outside shooting. Goldstein has it. Now Mallory. Mallory thought about a 3. Goldstein doesn't hesitate. And he gets the roll!
What a bounce on that play. Goldstein with a huge 3. And now, Joe, do the Dolphins foul?
They do not need to foul. And the Spartans very nearly turned it over.
It's about and they do foul right there. It's Chestnut's call for it. I was going to say before the foul, there was about an 11-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. But with that foul there, it now puts the Dolphins in the double bonus. So 2 automatic free throws coming up for the Spartans.
I don't like that foul at all, Nick. Not only will that send Stack to the line when, as you said, there was an 11-second differential, but J.J. Chestnut has now fouled out of the game. So you give Stack a chance to make this a 2-score game without earning a basket. I think what it comes down to is there is a risk you run. If you don't foul and they score, the game is effectively, I don't want to say over, but you have to score, then hope for a missed free throw and score again in 11 seconds.
Well, so far it worked. And you see Aaron Goldstein, Joe. He's trying to get the tank fired up. A huge free throw right here for Pulliam.
He missed the first. The student section making some noise. And Pulliam goes 1 for 2. Now, if you know you're getting 1 missed free throw, you probably foul right away in that situation. Obviously, no way to know that. But the Dolphins do get the benefit of a missed free throw. They keep their timeout.
About a .9 differential between the game clock and shot clock.
And Goldstein knocks in the 3. It's a 1-point game. Tali is tied up, and he is fouled.
Unbelievable, Joe.
What a shot by Aaron Goldstein.
We talked about it in the preseason. These Dolphins were looking forward to the play of Aaron Goldstein. And how about the freshman's performance in the late stage of this one? It's now a 1-point game. Huge free throws coming up for Talius.
This play's beginning to make some noise.
You can't even hear a pin drop right now.
And Talius makes the first. The Dolphins still have a timeout. Huge free throw coming up right here.
The Dolphins have to be prepared, Joe, right here to get the rebound.
And Talius calmly hits both. It remains, or I should say, it is now a 3-point game again.
17 seconds to go.
Oyakonmi.
And you see TJ Tibbs was trying to avoid a violation right there, and he calls his last timeout. So now, Joe, let's put this in the perspective of Stack. It's a 3-point game. You are 1 foul away from being in the bonus. Do you try to foul here to force the 1-on-1 coming up for CSI?
If I'm Stack, and this applies to any team in this situation, if I'm a coach, I tell my team, once the clock gets inside of a certain amount of time, I foul. So whether that's 6 seconds, 5 seconds, or less, I think if CSI has the ball in a position, especially inside of the arc, if they're inside of the arc with less than 7 seconds left, I'm probably fouling.
Now the other question for CSI, Joe, is you're down 3. You've had good consistency from your 3-point shooters. Waterman's made some big threes. Clancy has made some big threes. We've now seen Goldstein make some big threes. Who are you looking for in these final closing seconds to try to get you the potential game-tying shot?
If you're the defense, I think you have to be locked in on Bryce Waterman. Now, there are some coaches, as you get a look at that last 3 by Goldstein, that's such a big shot for the CSI freshman. All of a sudden, he has 15 points. I believe he only had 3 at halftime. But Goldstein's been huge. Now, back to your question. Some coaches will look to get the ball to their best shooter in these situations, regardless of what the defense is expecting. And I think if you're the Dolphins, you know that's Bryce Waterman. He's the guy who you want taking these shots late in games from 3-point range. He's 8 of 14 from downtown. However, priority number 1, get the ball across the timeline. And CSI, with no timeouts, has to make sure they do that here. 8 seconds to go, and the Spartans will foul. And I think that's smart. CSI has no timeouts left, and they're going to the line for a 1-and-1. So a missed free throw is effectively a stop. And they did it even quicker than I may have expected. And I think that's good coaching on the side of Stack. Don't let the Dolphins get a three-pointer up.
Exactly 8 seconds to go in regulation. Huge free throw for Goldstein.
Well, the Dolphins need both. And they get the first.
And it looked like the players didn't realize it was a one-on-one.
There may or may not have been a lane violation there.
I did hear that, so.
Women's basketball wanted one.
There was conversation between the refs for a second. So 2-point game. Now one more free throw for Goldstein. Potentially make this a 1-point game.
Once again, the Dolphins have to have this free throw.
And he airballed it. And you heard TJ Tibbs. He told him to airball it. Oh, boy. Here we go, Joe.
All right.
Okay.
So
TJ Tibbs told Aaron Goldstein to airball the free throw.
Now,
and I think the reason being, Joe, is they're going to have an inbound pass under the rim. They're going to try to actually, no, it's CSI ball. Oh, was there a lane violation maybe? I'm not sure what the call was.
Well, neither am I.
I'm as confused as you are, but now the Dolphins could tie the game or potentially win it right here.
All right, then.
Okay.
It's CSI ball. We need an explanation. Goldstein for the lead. Off the side of the backboard, no good, and the Dolphins will foul with .9 remaining. So the question is, why was that Dolphins ball?
I'm not sure.
They may tell us.
I think we're going to have a replay of how much time is left on the clock. So the replay that we're having currently going on is we're going to see how much time is left on the clock. We also have the live input for the game. It looks like we're going to pull that up in a second. Our broadcast partner, Joe Foreman, will have the live feed of the game. As this is big right now to determine how much time is left in the game. We'll also get an explanation of the air ball that gave CSI the possession right after it.
The second free throw.
We want the free throw or the corner shot?
We want the second free throw when it came off and they took the foul. Yeah, so this should be it.
So right now getting a look at the second free throw.
That's the second free throw. So it would be inbound.
Yeah, that was the play.
In the corner.
Yeah, that was the play.
Okay.
Now we're getting a look at the inbound play. Just trying to determine how much time exactly is left on the clock. Right now, it's .9 on the clock.
It's the inbound after this.
It hit the rim. They didn't inbound it. Foul's right here.
Yeah.
And the arm goes up?
Right there. Right there.
So we got 1.6, it looks like, remaining in the game. So right now, Joe, we have 1.6 to go. And it's going to be a tough possession for CSI. If they get the one miss on one of the free throws, they will have a chance for a half-court heave to send the game into overtime. But overall, I don't know if we also got the explanation for what happened on that air ball and the CSI getting the ball right after that. So,
well, I asked the official.
You did ask, and we did not get the explanation for it.
It didn't seem like it was going to be a quick explanation. So TJ Tibbs, head coaching mastermind, knew something when he told Goldstein to airball the free throw. The Dolphins need a miss on the first free throw here. And they get it.
They got it. Now, do you miss the free throw if you're Stack? I know it's tough because they CSI could win it on a 3, but do you miss it potentially?
I wouldn't, but if they do, it's not the worst thing in the world. They miss it. Waterman for the win.
Off the mark.
And I don't know if he got it off, Nick.
I don't think
Let's get a look on replay. I don't think he got it off.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaker for CSI right there.
It was online, too. What a game. As the Spartans escape the tank with a 79-77 win. The Dolphins pushing one of the ECC's finest to the limit.
Yeah, he did not get it off in time.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So the Dolphins come up just short as they fall to the Spartans by 2 points. For the Dolphins, it is their first loss in conference play. Stack improves to 3-0 against the ECC. And for CSI, this game will be their final conference matchup of the 2023 calendar year. Next time we see the Dolphins here will be in 1 week. They are back home next Saturday. As I mentioned earlier, men's and women's basketball will play a non-conference doubleheader 1 week from today. Same time, same place, as we will get underway at 1 p.m. The men will take on St. Michael's College in the 3 p.m. game. On the women's side, I have to think it may have been Georgian Court that they play next weekend, but we'll double-check that right now. And it is Caldwell University that the Dolphins play next weekend. So women's basketball takes on Caldwell next Saturday at 1 p.m. Before that, the women are on the road on Tuesday at Adelphi University. But until next weekend, this has been Joe Foreman alongside Nick Bavona on the call, Tyler Clark, our engineer, Pat Gilorenzo on camera. The Dolphins lose a thriller by a final score of 79-77. CSI falls to 3-1 in conference play. The Spartans now 3-0.
The Dolphins are getting a nice standing ovation, Joe, after this performance.
Well deserved. We will see you all next week on the broadcast, or you can join us here at the Tank to catch some non-conference action next Saturday.